Hey guys, this is Andrei, a certified translator from Minsk and the real estate concierge, and this is the much missed weekly digest of the most biased, the most what's the opposite of impartial again, news reports from here, from Belarus, the current goings on, the things that we've kind of missed. Basically COVID and a bit of politics and a bit of economy. I've just come from the city of Vitebsk, where the average desired salary in per month is about 600 Belarusian rubles, nearly said US dollars. It's Belarusian rubles, quoted by several people as a pretty handsome one. So let's talk about the whole country and how things are. Don't switch the channel. If you were wondering, Vitebsk became the first base point to a nice American gentleman who got himself a flat, 31-meter flat, $35,000. And I hope he's setting right now as I'm reading these lines. And I would like to wish him luck, because Vitebsk between October and March isn't the most scenic of the cities. Although Instagram pictures from summer season are really inspiring, so the city of Mark Chagall may work its magic on him. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure about how you call them correctly in Europe nowadays. Migrants-tourists are still at the border. They're sticking around the logistics complex. There's some 2,000 people left, and the government is announcing weekly evacuation flights. 2 of them for 200 people something have been announced as delayed this week. Not sure about the reasons. Weather is getting more and more extreme. It's just zero, guys, but wind today and pretty tough snowfall created a havoc in traffic unexpectedly in late November. The traditional unexpected winter havoc, and the people who have not yet switched to winter tires and so on and so forth are having little issues with tires and car metal. As for the migrants, the Red Cross has launched a brilliant initiative of fundraising some $10 million, was it, for these unfortunate 2,000 souls to get warmed and treated and everything. It seems that the Polish border guards are reporting about the 2 or 100 attempts to cross the border, or let's say 200 people, groups trying to attack, to trespass the border in a violent way. And these attacks are obviously repelled. So the attempts are still there, but as cold is setting in and the solutions are being discussed by both sides, EU and Belarus. But generally, the issue is not an issue anymore by looks of it. It's a long stretching issue, a bit of a painful, sore thing. And this issue is unlikely to be used as a precedent for war. Well, again, these guys are not checking with me, so I'm really just sharing my guess, but things are seemingly de-escalating. You don't see any lines of guys, dark guys with sleeping bags lining up in the city for a drop-off or something like that. This issue seems to be stopping being an issue. Out of a sudden, Belarusian ruble is going down. The rate is dropping in value against dollar and against euro. Not sure about the Russian ruble, but dollar is over 2.5 limit, which hasn't been in a while. And it seems like short-term dollar and euro are going to increase in value, which will help the shopping frenzy of the Belarusians, who are feeling that something's going to be wrong with the ruble, and who are going to spend rubles massively before the new year, just because it's a bad superstition here to save money in rubles before the new year. In early January, this money seems to be losing in value. Wasn't the case a couple of last years. People who were betting for that were not winning, but let's see what happens in 2022 New Year. Let me remind you, by the way, that the main holidays here are New Year holidays, not Christmases, which will have 2, Catholic and Russian Orthodox, on the 7th of January. So the major holiday still is a New Year, 31st to the 1st of January, and we go back to work somewhere on the 2nd or the 3rd. Have to check this year's calendar, can't remember which one it is. Haven't been working on a normal calendar for myself for a while. By the way, guys, you may have noticed that I missed a Friday air, so to speak, so I thought there was Murphy's Stout and the city tour at the Gales of Wind that I gave to a charming lady on Sunday, but That was not Murphy Stout, and so far I can't really tell coffee from tea, although the labels on the machine help that. I've just recovered from my own thing, so this ends the long debate whether or not I should take a shot. It was fairly easy, just a bit of fever, that's it. The smell is still coming back. But it seems for many people worldwide the debate is still open because the new variation has just been discovered. I'm glad it's something nice sounding like Omicron thing. Omicron. Sorry if I got it wrong. Virus cannot be tackled by the existing vaccines, so it's rumored so far, at least, so that's what we hear here in Belarus. So the vaccines will have to be adjusted, and of course the biggest producers will be supplying their stuff as the most modern and the most upgraded, and just in case they'll be jabbing you every 3 months. Sorry, I guess this can't be helped. I'm not really advertising to relocate to Belarus immediately, but guys, think what's better for you. So far, we don't have any rhetoric about everyday jabs, about any forcible jabs. Masks are not mandatory anyhow. If you want to wear them in public, you wear them. If you don't, then you don't. Only in some select public spaces you may be asked to wear them, and you will probably comply. We still traditionally have some 2,000 cases a day, less than that reported a day. We still have some 15 traditional deaths a day, never more than 17, never more than 20 for sure. And this is how we're cracking on. The travel to Belarus is still kinda okay if we take into account the fact that only Moscow with a transit Russian visa, Georgia and what was the Turkish capital Istanbul are the layovers that can be used by most of the visitors planning to come over here. The land crossing will require a visa. If you have any questions about how to get a visa, you may watch my related videos or ask me. I'll leave the contacts underneath. Travel here so far as possible, and all this bragging about military involvement and the war and all this crap with the blockage of the western border and western checkpoints is so far no more than just banter, because logistics and capitalism seem to be above everything. The doctors and teachers are still some of the worst paid sectors here in Belarus. Teachers have gotten on average some 1,100 rubles, and doctors have their October salary on the level of about 1,400 rubles per month. Many of them claim that COVID bonuses aren't as good as they used to be 1 year ago, which is quite predictable. But generally, thousands and thousands of doctors and teachers are missing, and there are vacancies for these jobs, and the salaries aren't the most super attractive. Even in the middle of their schooling year, they're looking to fill the vacancies for teachers and doctors. The most handsome sector in Belarus is still IT guys, but it's hard to tell how much the average salaries have changed after August last year, when hundreds of them were forced to leave the country, if not thousands basically. The media have come up with a list of the 5th sanctions package, which is going to go live on the 1st of December. The list looks skinny to me. I will not comment too much on that, because I really want to shoot a couple more such news broadcasts. They have some, mostly it's military folks from the border control, for obvious reasons, for obvious involvement in tourism. What's surprising is they have a couple of travel agencies, which is not quite that surprising. They have hotels Minsk and hotels Planeta sanctioned by the corrupt West. I'm wondering how Planeta Hotel is going to survive these things, the sanctions. And it seems like on the 8th of December, the previous, that would be the 4th, I guess, sanctions package is going to work to be full on. So we'll see what kind of impact these efforts by the Western bureaucrats will leave on our goings on. Well, I'm not for sanctions, I'm not against sanctions, and it seems so far that the sanctions are counterproductive, mostly hitting people rather than governments. So let's see how it's gonna go. And by the way, tell me, what do you think in the comments? Do you think the sanctions are going to work and affect ways here somehow, and the government will become more and more open to have a dialogue with the opposition, or it's never gonna happen? Tell me what you think. And then another quick curious economic update. The shortages with firewood here in Belarus are still continuing in several districts in southern Belarus, in Gomel region. And a brief look at the news suggests that people, obviously it's always people who are to blame, people have not filed applications for the firewood supplies in time. That's why the government agencies, the agency that is cutting, chopping, delivering firewood is kind of busy doing that right now, and they have backlogs of applications for the firewood. From the very start of the season, the firewood deficit was reported across the country, more like trouble for Minsk region, but it seems like in the province it's also the case. I can't say what's statistically more popular, but firewood is still a big deal here in Belarus. They also use peat briquettes, the black briquettes that are produced from the swamp peat, and the electricity and gas are the most popular ways of warming up the homes, and cooking food is mostly on gas, either propane gas or methane if it comes through the pipeline. The National Statistics Agency has conducted a research in Belarus, and it appears that 4% of the population is behind the poverty line, which is about 374,000 people. They have less than 288 rubles per month per person to live on. I would say that's not much. And a few headlines from the local newspaper that I'll just quote and briefly share my opinion about them, just for you to see what kind of stuff we're reading and what kind of reactions the media is looking to generate with the population. So, Lukashenko does not exclude the placement of the dispatch of nuclear weapons in Belarus. Those would be Russian missiles. That could be very helpful. As far as I recall, in 1993, on Clinton's promises, there would be never sanctions against Belarus. Belarus scrapped nuclear weapons. Guys, if you know exact conditions of that deal, could you put it under the video? Because in our rhetoric, Belarus was always sanctioned for nothing, and we observed our part of the deal. We removed the nuclear weapons. Tell me what you think about it. Belarusian Red Cross is expecting to raise $6 million to attend to the needs of the refugees. Again, at the logistics center by the border, there's some 2,000 guys sticking around, and $6 million to attend to their needs seems like a handsome budget. Newspaper then quotes a Ukrainian journalist who says that USA will benefit from demolishing the European Union. I think European Union will just demolish on its own quite soon, especially with all the money they're printing. A local politician: the politics of the United West turns out dangerous and toxic game. I guess he's not referring to money printing, but hard to comment on this one. Lukashenko about the refugees. Let's ask these kind people to return back, because we will not provide an aid corridor. Let's say because there will not be an aid corridor for them. Well, I guess that's fair enough. Return ticket, the tour is over. A state farm in Luninets district, that's southern Belarus, southeastern, has purchased veterinary medications through middlemen for an inflated price. That's often happening out there. Lukashenko about the exercises of NATO. I have to foresee what's going to happen so it doesn't work out the way it did in 1941. We like to talk about 1941 a lot. Keira Knightley and her family has corona. Sorry, Kira, best of luck with that. Brent has gone at its lowest since August, under $70 a barrel. Okay, my condolences to oil tycoons. In January-October, the proficit, if I'm using the right term, of the Republican budget of Belarus was 0.3 billion rubles. As far as I recall, the deficit of the year's budget is about 6 billion rubles, so I'm not sure about what this thing means mathematically. In Bobruisk, a 50-year-old distributor of drugs has been arrested. That's good. If he was real, of course. And of course, the greatest news of the day: inflation in the European zone has reached the peak in 25 years. That was about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Donation links are down below, so are my contacts if you need any specific things here in Minsk or in Belarus. Again, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure to tell you a few things from Minsk. Stay safe and see you next week, I hope. Cheers.